Yeah, this morning I really like to share my thoughts about our desire or our need to be special and unique. And since it is also an aspect in our child development where we are kind of starting to build our unique us, that we are really becoming aware that there is a person separate from our environment, and separate from our mother most of the time also, then it's this time of individualization. And I see clearly that this individualization has in our evolution, of course, taken quite a big space, and it becomes more and more, let me say, present these days, that we have a desire to be unique and special. And to understand that really well, I was thinking this morning about it, how is this now in a developed way? Because, like when you look at things in the non-dual way, in the NEWEX approach way, then we see things just clearly, just as they are, and that there is no judgment in it. There are different ways how it expresses itself, and that's it. Yeah, but there is no good or bad. Yeah, there is no this should be and this should not be, but everything just is. And sometimes a deeper understanding of the issue is there, quite helpful. And when we now look on our desire to be special and unique, in the level of the neediness of the child consciousness, surely they, first of all, of course, that we must be special to our caregivers, so that they will protect us and feed us and give us shelter and everything. Like my small dog wants to come up. She is making a little noise here. Here she is. Yes. Okay. So there is this need of the child, of course, yeah, to be special, so that it would be taken care of and would be protected from possible harms. So the very, very basic needs. And after that, the emotional needs are coming, and when the individualization starts, yeah, so when there is not just the protection of life and an intrinsic need of it, but when also truly the individual person would like to be seen. And it's a lot about to be seen, see me, yeah. So I'm special, I'm unique, and see me. And as I said, for the child, it is that it stays safe and that it is protected and cared for. And in the individualization, we want to be seen for what we are doing and how we are learning to express ourselves in the world. And we want to have kind of the reflection of our environment, like how we're doing. And if the environment is still okay, yeah, with who we are and how we express ourselves. And that is, of course, in an environment like as a child, yeah, there it has to be careful so that it is not excluded. It's always the fear of rejection, always the fear that others might disapprove, because disapproval means that the rejection means I'm alone, and the child can't afford to be alone because it's not yet able to truly take care of itself. So it has, of course, also the socialization aspect in it, yeah, so that we learning to fit into our society. And there is it's a quite a big shift that we are seeing in the individualization already since industrial times, yeah, so that when people started to go from the villages into the towns, where they could live a more free life, not so much living in the expectation of the direct society, where exclusion is still dangerous because you need each other in order to live. And so people went to look for communities that are more like them, and they accepted that they are individual and special. And still it is a lot about, an intrinsic need of being unique and special. Yet at the same time, it's to find a place within the community, and that is a kind of struggle that we also now often experience. We want to be unique and special. We want to, and I come to what that actually really means, in a developed way. Yeah, it's very different actually. So stay with me. but to understand there that this is a kind of, seems to be a dilemma, which it is not a dilemma at all. It is an unawareness, yeah, that we have to fulfill expectations of the outside in order to find our place. But this is only true, this holds only true when you're a child. When you're a child, you are depending on your environment, because you can't yet protect yourself, you can't yet cater for yourself, so you need to have that. Yeah? And that is where we make the shift in thinking, because this is also why I call these aspects, when we are living them still on the level of the child consciousness, and we still think that we are depending on our environment in order to survive, and that is not true. When we come into the special and the uniqueness, yeah, and we go into the enrichment level, when we allow it through creating this environment, yeah, this nourishing environment, as I call it, for organic development, that it can grow up in its own way, yeah, which it naturally does when we are picking it up and don't reject it continuously further like it has been rejected in the past, the reason why it did not develop. Yeah, but when we say the yes, yeah, and people who know the NEWEX approach, yeah, so the yes, everything that is gets a yes for now. Everything that is has the potential to move from protective and self-protection to enrichment for yourself and others, yeah? From fear to love. So that movement, everything makes, yeah, when it gets the space and the nourishing surroundings for that. So let us come back to special and uniqueness. So why isn't it a dilemma at all? Because we are also striving so much for being authentic, yeah. So, and what is authentic? And unfortunately, industries of personal development have made us believe that there is a certain form how authenticity looks like. Yeah? So you need to be assertive. You need to set boundaries. You have to show how they believe self-love looks like and stuff like that. So just a new jacket, yeah, of requirements that society seems to set, yeah, for you to be authentic. But true authenticity is lived by us 24/7. Consciously, when we truly say yes to everything that we are, and seeing, yeah, the brilliance and beauty in it. And it needs quite some training, because we are so much conditioned, you know, to live in yeses and nos. All the things that are not good, you know, that has given us pain because it's still underdeveloped, and then for that one we think it's obstacles and hurdles and pains from the past, and why am I so insecure? Why am I postponing? Why am I having no self-discipline? And blah blah blah, all those kind of things, yeah. And by every time that you want to change something inside yourself, and I choose the word change very, very consciously, yeah, because changes, we can play with environment as much as we want to, but you cannot make changes as an adult inside of yourself. You only can make space for organic development, and that's all you can do. You cannot become someone else, because you are already, and here we are again with the topic, unique and special. You are filling in a very specific and very unique piece of the puzzle of the whole tapestry of humanity, of the whole tapestry of evolution and development. So exactly as you are at this very moment, you are taking the spot you are supposed to take. Yeah? At the same time, we can create that development where that space, yeah, that supportive observer, yeah, this space-making observer inside ourselves, which I train in my programs with 10 assumptions, which are really transcending the relationship that you do have with yourself, that we are practicing mind experiments. Yes, exactly. So uniqueness, you are very unique on the level of humanity. You are there just like in nature, and we are part of nature. We are not separate of nature at all, even though we might think that we are in nature. We are not in nature, we are nature. Yeah. So when we accept that we are nature, and that we accept that we are just as unique as anything else, and just having a very specific purpose also for the whole totality, for the absolutely brilliant thing called life, yeah, which creates over and over opportunities for us, invitations, not school, no punishment and failing and not seeing and again being punished and karma. And I don't want to go into karma right now, but so that one, is not like that. It is just a very normal development. How could you blame a child of 3 for not driving a car or doing math? So everything in its own pace, in its own way, exactly as it should be, very individually. And our longing for being this special, unique human being is actually not something to achieve. It is just something to be aware of, to breathe in that you are exactly as you are now, not kind of a future image of that you think that you can be, or a kind of a spiritual that you are saying like I'm my God consciousness or something like that. That's my true self. We are all of it at the same time. Yet can you be conscious of it? And that's the point. To become conscious of our unique and special nature as being human, to be really conscious of the brilliance of it, is just as important as becoming conscious of our God self. Because together we are creating that environment where you can express yourself, and here it comes, in your very unique way as you anyhow do it, but then with no resistance to the moment and in the way as you do it. When we see ourselves and approach ourselves with that space, and with just as that you approach a child, with all the credit it deserves in its development. And not just saying, oh, this is bad, don't do this, don't do that. Of course, we all grew up like that, but it's a forming. It's a forming. By that, things that are inside of us have been installed so firmly that also when we let go the earlier motivation of it, the fear of survival, the fear of not belonging, the fear of rejection, the fear of death, the fear of being alone, all these fears that we do have, and with good reasons when you're a child, not with good reasons when you're an adult. We can take care of ourselves, and we are not depending, but we are, and this is important, an absolutely piece of the whole tapestry of life. And that is your unique and special nature that life wants you to surrender to consciously. We anyhow do it, We anyhow do it. We live authentically 24/7. But we live in suffering because we resist it, because we think it should be differently. But it shouldn't. You're perfectly serving the moment as you are at this very moment. Life has its very own agenda. Evolution has its very own agenda. And our personal small agenda with our likes and loves and our fears and so on, it directs us perfectly towards it. There is nothing that you ever could do wrong. And can you really accept that? That you are fulfilling that part of that piece, this uniqueness and speciality 24/7. And that there is no yes and no, good and bad. There is nothing like that in it. It just is. And it's serving the moment. It should not have been differently. Also, pain is needed, and still our main motivator for change, for becoming aware of things. We might not want it, but it is still like that. We are driven still to 80 or more % by our brainstem and limbic system primarily, and not by our cerebral cortex, or going beyond all that, our intuition. So it is just like that. It's our evolutionary path that we are in at this very moment. And this is something to where we can really see how a developed way of wanting to be special and unique can be lived absolutely free of any pressure to be differently. And that means, like, when you are a person who is pressuring yourself to top performance, also that is who you are. Don't try to be different. When you're critical on yourself, then this is how you are. at this moment. Yeah, this is how you do it. Create space for it. See the beauty in it, and to learn to see the beauty in it, you learn in my program to see the beauty, the unchangeable, always visible essence in every single trait that we have, and that is something that is a true mind shift. And the 10 assumptions create that space for it. So be special and unique, regardless if you are seeking power, if you are jealous and you want to be unique for your partner and you're projecting it to all these kinds of situations, fine. Just be aware, do it consciously, create space and see what it actually really is consciously living yourself with no resistance to who you are and making space for every single aspect of you, regardless if it is still in child consciousness or if it is already really on an enrichment level and very adult level. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We live with all those aspects as they come, as they are presented, as we become aware of them. And no resistance means non-dual approach towards yourself. That is where you transcend the relationship that you do have with yourself.